Hi guys, it's Allison. Welcome to another video. Today I'm talking about all of the books that I have unhauled in the months of July, August, and September. This list is pretty lengthy, and I don't have a stack of books sitting next to me to show you. I'm just going to say the name and then, can you not? The kitty is right in front of me and he keeps rubbing up against the camera tripod. I'm just going to put the picture up right here so you guys can see the covers of the books that I've unhauled. So I'm just going to get started because it's a long list and I'll probably talk too much. So let's just get started. So in July I got rid of 32 books. I unhauled Serephina, Shadow Scale, and Tess of the Road by Rachel Hartman. I unhauled those books because they were boring. Well, I say they. I was reading Serephina and I was like 200 pages into it and nothing was happening. So I decided to DNF that one, and I thought about reading Tess of the Road because it's in the same universe as the other two books, but not about the same like people. And I did some Goodreads research and sorry, my hair is driving me crazy. I did some Goodreads research and decided that it was just not a book I was going to enjoy. So I decided to just, that doesn't look better. I decided to just unhaul all of them because I wasn't interested in them. I wasn't going to read them. So what is going on with my hair? That's better. Okay, now I can concentrate on the video so that now that my hair is like not all over the place. So the next book on the list is The Weight of Ink, and that is historical fiction, and the only reason I unhauled it is because it's an ebook version and I don't like reading ebooks, so I am looking for a physical copy of that one. Next on the list I have The Gilded Wolves and The Silvered Serpents. I read The Gilded Wolves and loved it, but it's been way too long since it came out and I've forgotten the story and I don't want to reread it. And so I unhauled The Silvered Serpents as well. That was just a NetGalley ebook that I had gotten. So I mean, I kind of felt bad, but I didn't feel awful about unhauling those. Next on my list is a bunch of Shadowhunter books. I unhauled Lady Midnight, Lord of Shadows, and Queen of Air and Darkness, and I also unhauled the Mortal Instruments series. I did not read the, what is that one called? The Dark Artifices. I did not read that trilogy, and I DNF'd the Mortal Instruments in the middle of book 4. So, just suffice it to say, I'm not a big fan of Cassandra Clare's writing. I did read and love The Infernal Devices, so I have that going for me, but please don't hate me for not liking the Shadowhunters. I think they could have been really good, but they're just so repetitive. The plot was repetitive and I didn't care for it. The next few books on my list are Incendiary and The Guinevere Deception. Both are books that I got from BookBox companies and I just decided not to read either one of those. Next on my list is 2 editions of Bone Crier's Moon. One was the Litjoy Crate edition and the other one was just the regular edition that I had purchased for pre-orders. I do have 2 other copies of the Bone Crier's Moon and I have read the book and I did enjoy it, so I just decided to get rid of the ones that I didn't want to keep. Next I have 3 Ravenclaw editions of Harry Potter books 1 through 3. The only reason I got rid of those is because I retook the Sorting Hat quiz and discovered that I am not Ravenclaw, I am in fact Slytherin. So I decided to unhaul those, and I really am not sure if I'm going to repurchase the house edition, Slytherin house editions of the Harry Potter books, because I already have a really beautiful set of Harry Potter books. Next on my list is Nevernight and Dark Dawn. The only reason I unhauled those is because I was able to get the reprints that Illumicrate did with, I can't remember the publisher, but I was able to get the reprints of Nevernight and God's Grave. So I didn't need to keep the Nevernight paperback copy that I had or the original Dark Dawn hardcover from the UK because I ended up purchasing the Waterstone Special Edition that had black sprayed edges to match my Illumicrate editions of Nevernight and God's Grave. Next on the list is King of Scars by Leigh Bardugo. I read this book and really enjoyed it all the way up until the epilogue and decided it was complete rubbish and I didn't want to read the second book if there's even going to be one. It wasn't complete rubbish, just the epilogue. People need to stop writing that plot line because I hate it. Other than that, I loved the banter between Zoya and Nikolai. I loved the world building and that one was really cool. I just really didn't like the epilogue. Next on my list is Mirage. This was a book that I had gotten in an Owl Crate box like in 2018 and I did read it and I did love it. The sequel to that book just came out a few weeks ago and I am not gonna read it. They came out too far apart and I no longer have any interest in finishing it. But Mirage was really good, so it wasn't a bad book. Next two books on my list are Rise of the Mystics and the 49th Mystic by Ted Decker. I have read both of these and really enjoyed them. They're like thriller suspense books and they're great. I just know I'm not going to read them again and I was really hurting for shelf space, so I decided to unhaul them. Next, I have Prettiest, Extras, and Specials by Scott Westerfeld. I had been searching and searching and searching for an original hardcover of Uglies and was not having any luck, so I just decided to unhaul the 3 books that I did have because again I needed shelf space and I knew I wasn't going to read them again. That is all of my July books. That is 32 books I unhauled in the month of July. August was a little calmer. I only unhauled 5 books. Those were Across the Wall and To Hold the Bridge by Garth Nix, which are novellas from the Old Kingdom series. I love the Old Kingdom series. I've read all of the books. I think they're amazing, but I'm not a fan of novellas and I knew I wasn't going to read these, so I decided to unhaul them. The other 3 books from August that I unhauled were the Night Angel Trilogy books by Brent Weeks. I read a good 200 and some pages of the first book and it was so boring. I just could not with it. I'm sure I could have made myself finish it, but there are so many other great books that I want to get to, or potentially great books that I want to get to, that I decided I did not need to make myself read a book I wasn't enjoying, especially not one that big. In September, I told myself I probably wasn't going to unhaul any books in September. Well, I'm a liar because I unhauled 11 books in September. Please don't hate me for any of these books. I have read all of them, kind of. I did DNF one, but I wasn't sure if I was going to keep it or not. I've read most of them. I did enjoy them. I just know I'm not going to read them again, and I really don't have shelf space for books that I'm not going to reread. The first 3 are Caraval, Legendary, and Finale by Stephanie Garber. I read these books, and I really, really enjoyed them. I think they were really good. I just know I'm not going to read them again, so there was no point in keeping them. And then the next series is the Stalking Jack the Ripper series by Carrie Maniscalco. I just finished that series last month or in July, and the more books I read, the more disappointed I was in them. I don't think they're bad. I just don't really like the way... I don't like the main character's arc. They're not bad. They're really good. They're entertaining. I love Thomas. I love bits and pieces of Audrey Rose. I just really didn't care for the direction the series went, and just some of the decisions the characters made. But I did read all of them, and I did enjoy them. I just decided to get rid of them because I know I'm not going to reread them. The next one on my list is The City of Brass, and the only reason I am unhauling this one is because it's a US hardcover, and I am trying... Well, okay, I'm not super trying because they're just too expensive right now, but I am looking actively for a UK hardcover of The City of Brass to match my UK hardcovers of The Kingdom of Copper and Empire of Gold. I don't know if that's ever going to happen, but I did read this book before I decided to unhaul it. It just doesn't match the other 2 I have, and I'm actually going to pass it on to a friend, so it's a win-win. The next 2 books on my list are The Hobbit and The Return of the King. The only reason I'm unhauling them is because they don't match my copies of The Fellowship of the Ring and The Two Towers, and I really would like them to match. So I'm only temporarily unhauling them because I'm going to buy them again at some point. And then the last book on my list for September is Jane Eyre. I tried reading that book in August, and I decided very quickly that it might be very well written and beautiful. the writing anyways, but the story was not my cup of tea. I did not care for the main character, and I definitely did not care for any of the adults in the story because they were just awful. Like, if you want to be depressed, you should probably read the first 100 pages of Jane Eyre because you will be depressed. At least that's what I was. So that is September, and altogether I unhauled 48 books in those 3 months. That seems like a lot, but I have done more than that in the past, and the good news is I think I've read more of them than I haven't. I'm not gonna count because that's just silly. This video is just one part of my my third quarter report that I am doing. I used to do these on my blog and decided to do a video version of it, which is kind of fun but also kind of hard at the same time because it's a lot of information. This is my unhauled books portion of my third quarter report for 2020. I hope you guys enjoyed this list and didn't hate me too much for some of the books that I unhauled, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!